Now, maybe a week or so ago, maybe a bit longer, I made a video about Tmux. The cool kids all use Tmux nowadays, of course. All the coolest kids probably use Zellige. But I don't even use Tmux. I use GNU Screen or Screen, whatever you want to call it. And with the Tmux video, I did like a cheat sheet. And frustratingly, the Arch wiki, which I do reference a lot, didn't really have a nice little common list of commands or a cheat sheet that you could just use to do, say, 80% of the things you'll usually do with something like these terminal multiplexers. And of course, if you don't know what I'm talking about, GNU Screen, Tmux, and all these are like a window manager, multiplexer, session manager, all this kind of thing. Look it up if you want a better definition. So today I'm going to do a cheat sheet for GNU Screen. It's what I use, and it's just nice to have this as a little reference guide. So we're going to use the Arch wiki for this because the Arch wiki is really good. So let's just look at the screen. So as you can see, as I sort of said, it's a full screen window manager that multiplexes a physical terminal between several processes, typically interactive shells, blah blah blah. So GNU Screen and Tmux are quite popular with system administrators because you can run a shell and disconnect from the server and it will continue running in the background basically. So say you have an update and you're SSHing, and again I'm not going to explain all this stuff, but SSH is a secure shell, remote shell. So you're in remotely in the system, you open GNU Screen and you run this session in the background of the computer and you want to update, but you don't want to stay in the session or you don't want to stay in the SSH, so you just log out your SSH, but GNU Screen will keep running the update. That's just a basic example. I hope that makes sense, but you can do so much with Screen, and we're going to look at that. So, well, you know, again, if you haven't seen my videos on Screen previously where I've covered specific things about Screen, make sure you update your package manager because we're going to install Screen. And then you want to do it's just called Screen, okay, as we can see here, and put in your password. Obviously I'm not going to reinstall it. Okay, so we've got Screen installed. Let's go back to the overview and the instructions. So usage, okay. So with Screen, let's run it. So you just type Screen, just hit enter. So Control A, and I will put on Screen key as well. Let's put on Screen key as well so you see what I'm doing. So Control A is your super key basically. This is what allows you to run options, commands or whatever in Screen. I hope that makes sense. How do they explain it? So commands are entered, yeah, Control A and then pressing the key binding. I like the Control A, it's a nice default. Unlike Tmux, it has Control B. If you remember the Tmux video, I changed it to Control A. I think that's a sensible default. Okay, let's just start off then. So Control A escape. So Control A escape, and there you go. It gives you loads of key bindings. Now, it's a bit of a mess there. Press space for next page. I don't know, maybe it's a virtual machine thing. I've never actually used that, to be honest. Whatever, you use that if you want to. Okay, Control A colon, and that allows you to enter commands. So I think quit, for example, quit Screen, which I think is on the list as well, which we'll probably come to. Okay, well, let's have a look. Then you've got window list. Now I don't really have any windows at the moment, but let's just do it. Control A. There you go, that's your window list. There are no windows. And Control L to refresh, return to end. Okay, so it gives you nice little prompts at the bottom as well. Well, we've got Control A0 opens a window. Control A0. This is window 0. Okay. Opens window 0, sorry, okay. Fair enough. Rename the current window. So Control A... Oh, what did I do? Control A capital A. Control A capital A. Set window title. Let's call it YouTube. Okay. So again, if I went back to Control A Control A quotation. Now you can see the Windows name YouTube. Before it's just bash because I'm in the bash shell. And of course I'm running this on the Linux terminal, and obviously it's saying screen.linux. That's cool. So it actually changes the term variable. So if I exited screen, it would just say Linux. So this is of course in a virtual machine, but I'm running on the TTY. So if I again do TTY, how funny. It says PTS because it's creating a PTS. But if I hit exit on this, and I do TTY, as you can see I'm TTY1 echo term. Okay. So TTY is a loading screen, screen's creating its own location, if you like. Hope that makes sense. Okay, let's go back into this. Right, so rename current window, Control A, Control, sends Control A to the current window. Okay. I don't even know what that means, really. That's like Inception or something. Control A sends Control A to the current window. Okay, so it's like, yeah, it's like Inception. Yeah, great. I really don't. Never use that in my life. Control AC, create a new window with a shell. Control AC. Ooh. So create a new window. Let's do Control A. Yeah, so as you can see, I've got two windows now. And I can go back to this one. As you notice, I don't have the status bar at the bottom, which I think I must have disabled because I do not like the status bar. I can't remember if it has it as default. No, okay, Tmux has its default. You can look at setting up status bar. I don't like them. If I want to find out information, I will find it. I don't need these distractions. That's just how I am. So that's another reason I like GNU Screen. Okay, create a new window of shell. Split the current region horizontally in two regions. Okay. What was that? Capital S, isn't it? Oh. Learn to type properly. There you go. And I'll give you a little heads up if you want to switch between these. You can Control A tab, Control A tab. So you probably saw that from when I was doing tiling windows in Screen. That's a previous video. Okay, then what we got? You can split into vertical regions. Okay, Control A pipe key. There you go. I can tab in that, tab in that. As you notice, I haven't got any actual shell in here, so to do that you do Control A C. Let's go in there, Control A C. Okay. And that obviously gives you a bash shell, whatever shell you're running. Okay, we're done. Tab, Control, toggle between previous, control current. So Control A, Control A. Ah, didn't know that. Control A, Control A. I don't know. That didn't seem to work. Control A, toggle between current previous region. Not sure about that. Control A, escape, enter copy mode, use select a range of text. I think I've covered that already. Actually, I'm not even going to cover the copying text. If you look at my previous video about copying text, I covered that already. So there you go, a reason to look at one of my other videos. I don't want this to go on forever. Trust me on that, I've done a previous video. And then you can paste text. So if you want to copy using Screen in the teletype terminal and paste it, basically, there you can do it. Again, you can do this in the graphical environment on X or Wayland. But of course, if you know, again, my previous videos, again, I did a video on Linus Torvalds removed scroll back. You know, again, you get scroll back with Screen. Okay, let's move on. So you can close all the current regions, but the current one, Control A, capital Q. Okay, so we're in the bottom one. There you go. How cool is that? Okay. Close the current region. So again, I'm just going to close. Is that right? Close the current region. Control A, capital X. Okay. Let's exit out of this. Whoa, what's going on here? Okay. Let's start up Screen again, and I'm going to do Control A pipe. Control A. Control A C. Right, let's do Control A X. Okay. that close the current region like that. Okay, yeah. So detach from the current session, leave it running. Okay, so again, this is a classic one. So if you've got a session, so this is one session. Okay, when I create panes, that's panes, and you can create windows and all that. So for example, so I do Control A D, that's detach. Control A D, and as you see at the bottom there, it's telling me YouTube test, whatever is detached. So if you've got one session running, you can just do screen -R, and as you can see, I'm now back in. Okay, and then Control A quit. So if you remember, I ran the colon that allows you to run a command, and so let's do that. Let's run that again. So Control A colon, and at the bottom left you can see I just run quit. So whatever commands you want to run, okay? And then you can reload the screen RC, whatever. Name session, so you create a name session, run the following commands. So let's do screen -S, capital S. Let's call it screen better than Tmux, okay? And then as you can see, I can prove that it's called that if I do Control A. Oh, it hasn't got a name session there. Whatever. Okay, to rename existing session, run the following command while screen is running. Control A, session rename. Okay. Session name. Okay. So I can do Control A colon session name, and I'll just call this another name. Okay. And then to print your sessions screen list. So let's detach from this. So Control A D, and then run screen. Type the command screen, but with just list. This will get out of the way. There you go. It's just called another name, and that's the PID. Okay. And then you can attach the name screen session. So let's do screen -X and call another name. Okay. So there you go. And if I exit, that didn't look right. I don't know. Oop. Turn off screen key for a second. On screen key again. Okay. So I tried to run session name or screen R. Okay. Let's try R. So okay, I'm going to do screen -S, isn't it? Capital S. And let's call this session. Okay. And I'm going to Control A D, so detached, what's called session, and then we're going to do screen -R, and it's called session. Okay. And then if I do, yeah. So as you can see, it's detached from that. Okay, what else we got? You can customize. Now I've done a video on some customization. I probably will do another video on more and more. And then you've got all this other stuff here. You can auto start with systemd, and you can have auto start, and it runs with ZSH. And if you're in X11, you can have as whatever. You can run it with a full 256. Here you go. You can have the status bar, so you can turn it on and off. It's actually a really good wiki, GNU Screen. You'd sort of expect that from the Tmux one, but I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure about their wiki. You can turn off the visual bell, always a good thing. So yeah, have a little look through this. This is really good stuff. And again, if you want to get really, really in depth, I'm sure they've got links at the bottom. Yeah. So yeah, really good job this time with the Arch wiki. Well done. And we'll leave it there, I think. But hopefully that covered enough for you just to get you going, just to use Screen. That will be 80% of the stuff you do. Everything else is just configuration, and have a look at my videos if you just want to see some more stuff about it, but we will leave it there. Okay, you know what to do. The fake YouTube, you can like, comment and subscribe, And obviously I want to give special thanks to Sean, HTX80 Nerd, and Soul. These are my membership who have taken out a membership on Patreon or YouTube. I've got information on that in the description if you want to be like these great guys, these fantastic people who support the channel and have their name at the end of the screen, and they get early access to my videos. So thank you guys very much. I do appreciate the support, and we'll leave it there, so I'll see you in the next one.